Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful story, this beautiful music. Ah, I hadn't ever been to an Afro Beta show before I saw this film, and I am their number one fan now.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
We love you too. We wouldn't have been able to make this movie if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you.
So, just before we start our conversation, I know there's a village that's created this movie with you, and many of the people are here tonight. Is there anyone you just want to call out and shout out to that's here? I mean, besides everybody.
Ahí está Tomás entrando.
Oh, Tomás. A lot of our stars are here. All the people that were interviewed, all the people that were in the film. So we gotta give shouts out to all of those. Right? People.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. The thing about this film is we had no funding, so even Eddie bought his own ticket to Cuba, to film for us. We had so much support from friends and loved ones, and it was like every step of the way. So we have to, every name in those credits was a pivotal name in making this film happen.
Yeah. So when I'm looking at my phone, it's not because I'm bored and I'm texting. It's because of that Slido thing. I'm waiting for everyone's questions from all the other
you guys
auditoriums.
scan the code. If you have questions you want to ask us, that's what we're here for. We're here to answer your questions, so you can pop them in the app.
Yeah. So, but the people in this auditorium, if you want to ask a question, just raise your hand. And I see you too, and I'll come right back to you. But I want to ask the first question. Which is, in regards to, this movie was kind of 5 years in the making, and the ending of the movie is this, beautiful voiceover by your late father about what's going to work is the connection between the young people. And I would like to know if you, have kept up those connections with the people that you met while you were there, and what your relationship is like today, and how that connection is going. I'd love to hear about that.
That's such a thoughtful question, Jay. Typical of you. So that Joyvan, who is the guy who brings us in to see the band night with the longer hair that gets really excited about the gear, he's actually living in Miami now. He is exiled from Cuba. And so, we actually chatted with him. We're in the plans to do a gig together. Hopefully, we're in the works to do that. So we're really excited about that. And Iliam and Alexis, we've been in touch with Iliam, the female duo of Interactive, I was going to call him Ia, the guy and girl duo who opened up for Major Lazer, that we chat with in the house. So she's so excited. We kept talking after we left Cuba. We really felt this kinship together. We felt like we were cousins. I mean, we felt like we were related. We felt like we had lived the same life, just like the parallel life on the other side. So That was really beautiful. I mean, Jayme having this crazy idea to go with us to Cuba was actually the most beautiful thing that could have ever happened, because we had no idea. I guess all documentary filmmakers must feel like this. You don't know what's going to happen. You just shoot it and then see what happens. But the fact that my father is no longer with us, it makes this film so much more special, because it's his legacy, and it's what he always, had to say, and he's there and he says it. So I'm really proud of that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to see his ideas and his dreams living on with you. So I've got a lot of Slido questions, which is great, but I promised you two that you guys would be first. So you in the back had your question. Yeah, you can go first.
I
I would go back to Miami right now. I'm curious as to what shifted for you. How do you feel now after doing the whole film and going to Cuba? And would you do it all?
still feel the same way. I would not want to go back. I'm happy here. Even with COVID and all the social distancing.
You should have seen him on the red carpet. Very reluctant. crotchety the whole way through.
Let's see if things change over there, maybe. But yeah, I'm happy here.
Awesome. Okay, and then you were next. Go ahead.
My question was already answered, but you actually, Goosey, you came out and you actually said you were cold. What temperature was that? Was that 70, 60?
Great question.
Listen, I had heard so many horror stories. I mean, I don't know if you could tell, but in the movie we were sweating the whole time because Cuba is hot. But I was not expecting there was going to be like one of those air units in the room that I was sleeping in, and it was very, very, very cold. So yeah,
It was a casa
cold.
particular.
I was cold in
and-
Cuba,
and-
believe it or
and-
not. I was freezing, 50 degrees.
No. No, not 50.
It didn't make it in the film, but there was a lot of conversation about the concern about the heat. So it was a little quiet ode to all of that talk about toilet paper and heat and how we would survive Cuba.
Well, there's some amazing questions coming in here. So I'm going to just go through two of them real fast. One of them is for Jayme. Was there ever a moment while filming in Cuba where any of you actually felt fearful of having these free-flowing conversations about censorship with the local artists? And kind of another question that's related to that, was most of the filming done in Cuba incognito, or did you have any permit from local authorities? So Jayme, would you like to start?
We had no permits. And we walked around with a boom mic and no one stopped us. So there's that. We got concerned at some point because we were trying to interview Yoani Sanchez and her partner. And once we went to their place, we started getting followed to some extent. And we bring it up a bit in the film, that tension and that concern when Christy's talking with Iliam about censorship, and they bring up a counter argument that maybe we are also censored here in the US. So we try to talk a little bit about that perspective. For us, personally, we definitely towards the end of the trip started to feel concerned, but I think for the, say, 7 of the 10 days.
Yeah, when you almost lost your passport. She
I
left
don't
her
remember
passport
that,
and
Tony. It wasn't on camera. I don't know what you're talking
We
about.
also like we're pretty low key about smuggling the stuff in. I remember like our friend who also shot with Jayme in Cuba Eddie was with us, who had been to Cuba before, and he made sure to kind of say like, okay, it's just a personal camera, the smallest camera you can shoot with. You guys were very.
I think we knew that we couldn't bring microphones in. That's why we hired a sound guy. And then once we had the letter from of invitation,
Sound guy in Cuba.
huh?
You hired a sound guy in Cuba.
We hired a sound guy in Cuba and a sound guy in Miami. And once we were pulled aside, we were stopped to some extent. Once our letter of invitation was read, which was from the government officially, I think they stopped searching our bags, right?
Yeah.
What year was this? I might have missed that.
2016.
All right, we'll go with a live question right there in the black shirt.
Hi guys, thank you so much. Brought me to tears. I've never been to Cuba,
Oh.
but my grandmother has made it feel like home to me, and you brought that sense of familiarity and kind of bridged that gap for me. So thank you so much for supporting. Second of all, it was so interesting to see the conversation that you guys had about censorship here in America versus Cuba. It almost seems like they know they're being censored, they know they're being watched, they know they're being controlled, so therefore their revolution is a bit more underground. But that is already inherently their way of thinking. As in comparison to here in America, a lot of us don't even know that, yeah, like they said, they're watching us here more so than they are there. What are your feelings on the way, well, as a Cuban, I didn't go because I feel like that censorship and that oppression is something I shouldn't feed. But since it's so alive here in America, like, what are your opinions as far as the censorship there versus here?
All right, I'm just going to repeat the question for the people in the other auditorium who couldn't hear. So the question is, so our audience member here is asking, about that significant scene where they're comparing censorship or surveillance in Cuba versus in America, and how conscious the Cubans were, and kind of how much that's still sort of a surprise or unknown to us. And how did you feel about that moment? Did I get the question right? How do you feel about that moment? Yeah. How do you feel about it now when you came back and it sunk in? And
I think it's weird, that when I talk to my friend and my phone is on the table, the next time I pick up my phone, it's an ad for the thing we were talking about. I feel like that's weird, but I don't feel like it's going to impede my career the way that it impedes their career that they talk about. I don't fear that I can't write a song with lyrics that are going to be, I can't sing in public, so I feel like we got to that level at a certain point. And that's why I was kind of like shocked in the moment we were having that conversation. But I think it's important to have the conversation because it's true. Everything they said was absolutely true. And my reaction to it was, whoa, I guess you guys, I feel like that's so much worse. But, we gotta deal with what we gotta deal with. But I'm really proud that I'm able to go out there and sing things. One thing that I didn't know when I went to Cuba was that the song that I sing throughout the whole film is it's being sung by many people, but my version of it is a Celia Cruz version, right? Or our version, I should say. And Celia Cruz's music had been banned in Cuba after she left. She's considered a pariah and not, persona non grata. And I didn't know that. And I was like singing it no problem and like singing it everywhere and singing whatever. And I just had no idea. So yeah, I was there as if I was free the way I feel free here, so I don't know.
did you have anything?
Yeah,
I
the
did just wanna
consequences,
say
right?
That was
Go
what?
ahead.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say the consequences are the big difference.
Yeah.
Here, nothing happens to us here. We could say whatever we want about whoever, and no one's going to be put to jail. That's it.
Yeah, you can say fuck Obama or fuck Trump or fuck whoever you want, and nobody's gonna come arrest you for that.
I think that was the big conversation in the film. I think that was our goal, was to have that conversation, because what is truth? Your truth is your truth.
Right.
Your experience. And so it was really important that we give equal platform to each of those opinions, because each one is valid in every individual's truth and reality of the life experience that they've had.
And just to add to that real quick, last thing that I would definitely say about that is that what I thought was really beautiful about the people that we spoke to there, our field producer, the band that we spoke to, they understand all the issues and the stuff that they're dealing with that is making them feel censored, but yet they want to make it better. They do believe that they want to stay. They know that it could be easier, in quotations, for them to just leave. And they don't want to do that. They want to make it better. And I had such a huge respect for that. That humbled me, because I would not be that person. I'd be like, bye, Yeah. That takes courage. So, if you guys were moved by this film, keep it in your heart. And the next time somebody talks bad about a Cuban who just got here, or people talk about the Cubans in Cuba, like, remember what you felt. Remember the people that you saw in this film. Like, they're real people, and they want to make things better.
Absolutely. So another question from the other auditoriums. How did this is in reference to that amazing dinner conversation that we see earlier in the film. But the question is, when you first came back from Cuba, how did your family respond then when you returned? And then how did they respond after, they knew kind of what this film was going to be about?
My cousin still hasn't spoken to me in 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's sad because we were really close too. And
Wow.
She just, I guess, stubborn about that. But let's see, her mom's not doing so well right now, so I have a feeling there's going to be a confrontation soon. So the saga continues.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I don't know if they knew. what the film was about. It's been
No.
pretty.
Yeah.
What do you guys? I mean, some of your families here.
Yeah.
They haven't seen the film till today.
So I guess
Yeah,
that's
but we
a
just
question
went.
for-
That was enough for them to start a fight.
that's a-
Our friend Leslie, who we speak to in the interviews, actually jumped on our trip, as did Mariana and Vanessa, and they were with us. So my friend Leslie had to tell her mom she was going to the Bahamas. So she didn't tell her mom until like a year later. So yeah, that's all I have to add to that.
Cool. Was there another? I saw another question here. Okay, right there in the middle. And for all the people who are all capsing me from the other theater, I do promise to repeat the question this time.
More
Okay.
easily than we were before.
Hold on. I'm gonna get all caps. I'm gonna get all caps
question
messages here
was-
if you don't let me repeat the question. So, our audience member was asking about the internet. You know, in 2016 versus now. Is communication easier? What are things like?
So I'm not an expert on what it's like now, but I've noticed that when we reach out to Iliam or Michelle, we get responses a lot quicker than we used to.
Yeah, we had asked Eddie that. He's the Cuba expert there. He's been there a bunch of times. Is it
Okay.
better? The internet's better there now? No, you
Eddie
don't have to
says,
enter a
Eddie, our
17
Cuba
code.
expert, says the internet is better now.
Awesome. Do you think cultural exchanges like this can help bring about positive change in Cuba or in other oppressed societies? Do they really make a difference? Anyone?
Well, the film is called Birthright, based off of the Jewish trip to Israel, which was a structure and a program that some organizations of Cuban Americans began when relations opened in 2016. So this is a program and an idea that crosses cultures. And I thought it was interesting that how important for Americans. I mean, this film for me is about hyphenated Americans, using the Cuban American story to talk about so many hyphenated Americans and this relationship we have with identity without often going to a place or ever having been there. And so, yes, I think that as Americans and as world citizens, the more you know in the world, the better off you are. You know, and we are all in bubbles. We are all ignorant of something. As much as you try to learn, there's still something you're unaware of.
There's
So
still further to go.
there's always further to go. So why not? Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
All right.
So why not try to learn as much as you can and meet as many different kinds of people as you can and have conversations that are hard and awkward and expand your mind.
Yeah, I think on a personal note, I do feel changed. I feel connected, and I feel more compassionate. And so I think if everybody, different people were able to have these exchanges around the world with different cultures, that would just bring a different level. And if world leaders could have these types of exchanges, they might feel differently when they make decisions that affect other groups, big groups of people.
Awesome. So some of these are not questions, but they're comments. But someone is saying in another theater, this film is also really important for people from Venezuela, Bolivia, and Nicaragua that are also living the same nightmares. Thank you for that comment. There's someone who's asking, about Tony. They want to know about your journey, at the end where you say, you feel Cuban now after this experience. So how has that continued for you as, after the film is gone? How
I
is
feel
that
less
feeling?
Cuban every day.
You need to go back.
I don't feel any more Cuban from going over there, and my Spanish keeps getting worse. So yeah, maybe I need to spend a month there. And
Would you do that, Tony?
No. No.
Tony
right.
first saw the film, I just want to say, and said, I get it, I'm the bad guy. And I thought,
I was a bad guy.
Tony,
I just
Tony's
wanted to
not-
go play and come back, and then they wanted to make this whole film about it, and I was like, why? We just go play and that's it. And now I'm here. I have to stand in front of everybody, ask people for money. It just sucked, man.
I don't know. Tony's the bad guy, but I identify so much with Tony.
And
I'm
I think
I'm the bad guy too. I
that's
don't know.
important. So many people, I've heard, wow, that guy's an ass. And I've also heard, wow,
Yeah.
I totally agree. You know,
She
and
didn't
that's
show
This
me
guy's
feeding
so
all the
honest.
dogs.
That is
I
the
fed every
beautiful
single
thing
dog
about-
in Cuba. I fed them
So
all.
what I learned. I have a
You
montage.
didn't put that in the movie.
It was supposed to go in the, I don't know where it went, but we
Put
have
it
a whole
on social
montage.
media.
There you go.
Tony lives in vacation in Miami.
He lives on vacation in Miami.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Tony, I think spoke for a lot of people across the board. And
Absolutely, and he's so honest. That's
Yeah.
why I identify with him so
Thank
much.
you.
So yeah, awesome, Tony. All right, so we're gonna do just one last question, and I'm gonna give it to Miriam Grad over there. Miriam, take it away.
Congratulate you on the documentary. It really touched my heartstrings. Jay knows how I feel about anything in Cuba. My dad died in 2014.
Aw.
I came to like you and then went back 4 times. So I will say it was very well done and it certainly touched me. And I just wish that we could have seen this at the tower and
That's it.
So it's not a question. As Miriam said that she has a great personal connection to films of this subject, and that she wishes that we were at the Tower Theater and we could have done a conga line across the street to the Ball and Chain afterwards. And I wish that too. Thank you all so much. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing this beautiful film. Thank you for
Thank you.
being our closing night, part of history. It's,
She was a closing last year too, on her movie. Yeah.
and thank you for your amazing
The last year,
passion.
her
Thank-
show was the last thing.
they
before
are really
COVID
like
got-
this. I love you
Alright.
guys. Thank you for doing this with me.
How do we vote? How do we vote? Let's tell people how to vote.
Vote. Can
People.
we put up the voting slide?
Yeah, if you stuck around this long, you should vote
There
for
it
the
is.
movie.
So scan this.
Vote, vote, vote,
If for
vote,
some
vote,
reason you're not able to scan, go to this URL here at the bottom.
vote, 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 vote.
We
vote,
also
vote,
think
vote,
you
vote,
should
vote.
go to our email list at afrobeta.com
Yeah, afrobeta.com.
and join in, and we'll let you know where the film goes.
And remember, this film is going to be available on our virtual platform starting tomorrow at 12 noon for 48 hours. So, and it's available throughout the United States. So, if you have friends in other places that you feel should watch this, let them know.
Can I do one last thing?
Yeah.
Can I ask the team, anybody who worked on this, was in this, supported this, to stand up? Just say thank you to you.
Stand up.
Stand up! Stand
All right.
up! Yeah.
Wow.
Stand up if you're in another theater. Also, stand up. Wherever theater you're in.
Yeah, if you're in other theaters, stand
you.
up. We had such amazing editors. Diana Larea, Alfredo Hook, Ricardo Trevino, Eduardo Garcia Rivera.
Dado. Check out his Instagram.
Tomás Díaz, nuestro rey. We're so grateful to everyone who helped us make this film. Christy's family, Tony's family, all the Cuban American community, all our supporters, funders, Seed and Spark, production team, Diana for your patience. Thank you. Thank you so much.